Lance here with a beer review. I'm in the front of the house today, taking the last bits of sun through the clouds here. And I've got kind of a unique beer too. This one I've not really, don't know anything about this brewery. This is from Loowit Brewing. They're out of Vancouver, Washington. And the beer is Dwarven Forge. It's an Imperial Red Ale. They've been making this since 2013, and this is the 2016 batch. It's a bourbon barrel-aged beer. Today is April 21st of 2017. You know, I know nothing about this beer, know nothing about the brewery. This is an 8% ABV, and I know it's made in bourbon barrels. So, you know, I love Imperial Reds, but you add bourbon barrel aged, man, you just, and you got a dwarf. Do you see that? There's a dwarf on the bottle. I can't resist that. The hammer falls and the hammer strikes. Red hot steel sparks to life. Steel on steel rings through the halls. Once again the hammer falls. Bring life to helm and pike. Forge steel for sword and knife. Bellows fall and your thirst will rise. Drink this beer, your heart will prize. Alright, I'm loving it. We're going to get this one cracked open. Alright, a thin head on there, you know. It's and it's really murky brown, very murky, but it's bourbon barrel aged, so maybe, I don't know, that kind of throws me a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm getting the bourbon barrel aged part right away. You know, this smells so much more like an Imperial Stout than an Imperial Red at this point with this bourbon barrel character. And it's a really nice bourbon barrel character. Man, I'm getting big time dates on this, like sweet, sugary dates. Yeah, I'm getting big time dates on this, a little bit of fig on that, but it's, and raisin. So it's all about dark fruits, to be honest. Yeah, I'm only faintly getting a red ale type characteristic on the nose. I'm getting big caramel on it though, a lot of caramel. I'm getting some vanilla characters, and like I say, the dark fruits and the bourbon on there, some oak character coming through. It's more of those rich characters that you get an Imperial Stout, just I'm not getting like the roasted malts. That's kind of the difference on it. So, but it smells good. So let's dive in. Cheers. That's nice. That's nice. You know, this was really an expensive beer. It was under $10. For barrel aged, that's quite good. The mouthfeel is a little bit thin. It is a medium mouthfeel, but it feels quite thin to me. Not a big surprise though. It gets, those things get thinned out in barrel aging often. Again though, I'm not getting a lot of character from a red ale on this. It's there, it's faint in the background. On the other hand, the caramel is really nice. Again, the mouthfeel being thin kind of takes away from that. This beautiful vanilla and caramel and bourbon characters. Really nice. It makes me think of a non-Imperial Stout that's barrel aged. So if you ever had those where they've got a fairly thin mouthfeel, but they've got all those qualities, you know, of the barrel aged character, that's kind of how this comes across, except for it just doesn't have the roasted malts. It has those malts that are going to bring in like the red characteristics. So a lot of caramel is probably in this. Yeah, it's a fun beer. It's not going to be world class, but it's super tasty. Yeah, so it's got really good flavor though. I like that. It's only 8% ABV, so it's not huge by any means, but just a lot of beautiful flavors going on. I'm gonna take a little time with this and I'll come back. Okay, so I've had a little time with this. In terms of style, Imperial Red Ales, I can't rank it that high. It doesn't come across as a red ale by any means, and you're just not getting enough of those qualities of a red ale on it. Barrel aged or not, I should get some of that character, and it's just not there. It's still a nice, tasty beer. In terms of Imperial Reds, though, yeah, it's not gonna really. It's not a passing grade in my book. Passing grade meaning it's gonna be an 81. It's a low B. Now overall, yeah, that's a different story, because overall, man, I'm digging on these, you know, the date sugars and a little bit of fig on there, the raisin on it, the vanilla, the bourbon, the oak, those that's in my wheelhouse. I love that stuff. There's not enough of it for me, but I think the malt bill was just a little too small for this, to be honest. And they needed something to thicken it up. Might have been good with oats, who knows? But I do have to push it up a little bit. I think in terms of an overall rating, I'm going to give it an 87. Here it is again. It's the Dwarven Forge Imperial Red Ale, bourbon barrel aged, from Loowit Brewing out of Vancouver, Washington. Now you're probably only going to find this in the Oregon, Washington area. It's possible that they're in Idaho as well. I'm not certain. But it's a fun, tasty beer. So if you're a local, I'd say grab a bottle. This is Kevin at Clemens Homebrew saying life's too short to drink cheap beer, and I'll see you on the next beer review.